PBR became really big with the hipsters. Like it was cool to drink, right? Or this, like it's cool. You like this game because you want to be cool.
The Wind Waker, the PBR of Zelda games.
Oh, there's our intro bit right there.
Welcome to the Spindash Retro Gaming Podcast. Prepare yourself for the joy of classic gaming, fired straight into your delicate little ear holes. Fire away.
But it's been some time, boys.
It's been a lot of time.
I mean, enough for me to actually accrue a pretty good catalog of pickups. We'll just say that.
We're gonna need to section off a good half an hour for pick. The problem is December, right? We're coming off December, and December's like pickup frenzy, and then we go into like a dry spell.
And I have not paid for. I had not paid for any of my pickups, so I'm happy about that too.
And no dump, right? This was no dump.
No, this is a no dump pickup.
Dump's dry.
Dump is dry. I've been going because I'm on outlook for John right now for something.
I want something to fix for John. I'm thinking of things.
I'm hoping for another Xbox One S.
You could try to fix one of the Nintendos, but I
want to
take a stab at it.
I want you to send me home with one.
Is there any good modifications for Nintendo?
Not really. I mean, you can do like NES RGB is a thing, but I mean that's not really. One, I've never done it. Two, I don't know if I can do it. Three, it's probably stupid expensive. Four, it would give RGB out, and then John would not have an RGB input, so it would be a complete waste of time for him.
If anything, I think John should modify the casing.
They do make shells. They make translucent shells. I think
John needs some new shells. Like, get the innards all fixed, but I think John needs some different shells.
Well, pimp his NES.
Yeah,
he's a classic man though.
Well, no, he could do something I don't know, or you could just do either I've seen some pretty good ones. I seen one done on Beavis and Butthead. That was actually pretty good.
I don't like the tacky paint jobs that people do. I like shells.
I would like to see cool. A see-through shell.
Those are cool.
Like a see-through shell with actually maybe some LEDs inside of it.
Oh no! You got LEDs. That's too much.
I had a see-through phone as a kid, a corded one to go on my desk, and I brought it to college, and that is the last thing I'll have that is see-through.
Really? Did people shit on you for that?
No, I'm just done with it. I like clean.
So I'm not. I'm actually getting into it, and
I like translucent.
So Matt, you started this little idea. I'm like, I want to find, like you. I think I'm looking for a translucent TV.
Oh yes, baby, that's the ticket.
A translucent CRT.
I like translucent. I'm a millennial. I'm a child of the 90s. Well, you want to get into pickups or half an hour discussion?
Yeah, fuck.
I know.
We're gonna need the abridged version, Nick.
Well, here's the thing.
Fucking A.
Collectibles.
It's been some time since there. So in the meantime, I've traded in some of my games and some consoles that I liberated from my transfer station, and I traded those in for credit to use at a local game store, in which I am now a proud owner of a Sega Master System with Ghostbusters for the Master System. And it's, by the way, that game is complete trash. Ghostbusters. I love it. It is horrible. I'm like,
I'm going to collect all the Ghostbusters.
I'm going to. So, hey, it's a possible thing. I'm going to try it. Go for it. I love the movie as a kid. That's one of my favorite movies growing up. Definitely in my top 5 movies is the original Ghostbusters.
Is E.T. in your top 5 movies?
No. I hate it.
Because I have a game for you.
Who the hell hates E.T.?
No one hates E.T. I don't hate it. I just don't care. I didn't care for it. It wasn't one of my top 5.
I would put E.T. over Ghostbusters all day.
No. Oof. No way.
You have some hot takes, Moxie boy.
Film Institute is just shitting a brick right now.
Oh. Wow. It's a good movie, but not above Ghostbusters.
What did they feed you down there in Harpswell?
Probably same thing. Lobster, baked beans.
You just drank antonym juice. You're like, nope, I don't like that.
I mean,
I like the opposite.
Beetlejuice is in my top 10. We'll just say that as well.
Top 10 movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is your top 10 favorite or top 10 best? Because I mean, top like
10 favorite.
Yeah, because I feel like
these are things that like I can pick up and I can watch it no matter what.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna watch this movie. And I can watch it over and over and over.
I put Euro Trip up there for myself, so that's
I watch Fight Club at any moment. I don't care. I am an angry.
To be honest, also one of my favorite is also A League of Their Own. So it shows where my taste is all over the board.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
But so Sega Master System was my first pickup lot. I got that. I sent you a picture. I wasn't expecting to actually walk out with that. I was like, oh, I'll get some games. But I've noticed that I don't care for the games themselves. I love the hardware, the consoles and controllers is really what I think what I like to collect. Yeah. I just like the technology. I like it. I love to actually get every controller I can for it, especially like the Sega Master System's light gun is pretty gnarly looking. I like it how it looks. So that's probably one of my next areas of collecting is going hardware. Speaking of hardware, I also then got today.
Oh God,
the NES.
Yeah, that's excellent,
and it works. It's very tight. I'm pumped. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I have not had the NES for such a long time of all systems.
And he just gave it to you for your.
He didn't give it to me. Okay,
advertising.
I've helped out on some stuff. Okay, and
that was a low effort for a high reward right there, my friend.
Definitely not, dude. Definitely not.
You just made an ad.
Not just a ad. I made multiple. So, quiet yourself. I also, part of some trade-ins, I also end up getting one of our game of the weeks that we'll be doing in the future, 007 Nightfall.
Oh, Nightfire.
Nightfire. Next one I got is I end up getting other game of the week that we'll be playing that John can't wait to play. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories.
Woo!
You know,
the year of the weeb. The year of the weeb is upon us.
It's going to be the year of.
Year what, John? Year what, John?
We're going to fight this year.
John, do you want me to get you some Sonic Hedgehog cereal so you can have that? And
I'm just going to give it to you. I'm just going to
not
let you. Yep, exactly.
Be rough, John. Be rough. Make me bleed.
I will. Yeah, Mr. Geology.
I also got a couple handhelds too.
What? You didn't tell me that.
So they're not the same. Yeah.
Okay, government cheese.
Jesus. Originally, so I traded all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I need this credit because I want to buy get some of the Game of the Week's games out of the way, just purchase so I have them on backload. And then I took my daughter with me because she had the week off from school. And it's the only way I could get down there and like, okay, well, I'll take her for a trip. Well, her eyes lit up like saucers, and she's like, Daddy, I want this. Daddy, I want this. Daddy, I want this. Then she locked eyes on a Sonic the Hedgehog Tiger handheld. Original. It's not the remake.
That's a massive lie. Your eyes locked on that.
No, I didn't see it. I actually didn't even see it. I actually didn't even see it. So I had to use my there. Then obviously, because she's going to have that, my son will probably be jealous. So I'm like, oh, why don't we find a Tiger game there? So we ended up giving my son it's called Leapfrog or whatever. It's pretty much a knockoff version of Frogger.
Yeah.
Going across there. So 2 handhelds and a thing of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie cereal.
Hell yeah.
Which the kids have destroyed.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Is that
I cannot see.
And a GameCube memory card.
Yes.
So I can play the game of the week. So good. You know what? great deals. I like going into there, but Sanford Games and Collectibles, great place to go in the state of Maine. It's nice and local. The guy does right for I think anyone that goes in there. He's gonna educate. He knows his people that come in. So yeah, Sanford Games and Collectibles. You can follow them right on the good FB Facebook, and he does whatnot as well. So
Nick just got paid a Nintendo game for saying that.
oh, hush your mouth. But
no, we will never advertise on this show. And the reason why we'll never advertise on this show is because we respect game companies and people who provide services that are game related. We would be a blight on what they do. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially Mr. Phallic over there.
he listens to Donkey Kong and pulls any association. You're not allowed in the store anymore. I'm gonna need you to turn in your.
Actually,
in your
he wants to listen. So actually, I gotta send him. I'll send him the link. Yeah. But those 4 pickups, not too bad. You guys had some pickups too. I saw.
So I'll start because John. Do you have any pickups before I
better say what he said he picked up?
Oh wait, no. John's got the big show. No, hold on.
John has a big D.
Let me first show you my prized pickup here. This is a giant lifetime supply of No Clean Flux. So I'm ready to go, boys. I'm ready.
Read it to us in the other languages that are on that bottle.
I don't know. I mean, that looks like it's in Polish.
I just saw Flusmetal.
Fluso. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Ready to solder. Ready to get some projects done this year.
Well, if my dump starts delivering again, I'll be delivering.
I want to be ready. I want to be ready to give John his dream system this year. I don't know what that is because John hates everything and everyone, but I've got to deliver back. So I got to find something. I have nothing retro for a pickup this week. I have not picked up a single. This thing's on the back order. It's coming, but nothing this week. Everything's modern. And you know what? I kind of like it. And here's why. I spent practically nothing to get 4 games for that Xbox One. Like practically nothing. Maybe $30 total. Maybe a little more than that. It is refreshing to buy games and not get completely ass fucked by retro game prices. Like I haven't bought a modern game in so long. It's just like, oh, this is what it feels like to not get completely bent over and raped when you buy stuff. So I bought Doom for Xbox One, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is an Igavania game in the creator of the Metroidvania style Castlevanias. I bought Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition for when I ever decide I'm going to beat Final Fantasy 13, which I'm now up to like 50 friggin' hours. And then I bought Ori and the Will of the Wisps, another Metroidvania style game. I kind of like them. But my God, modern gaming is so fucking cheap. People sit there and they're like, oh my God, games are going to be $70 a game, $80 a game. And it's like, yeah, but if you just wait a couple weeks, it's going to be down to like 20. Like just wait it out. As long as you're not paying the Nintendo tax. Like modern gaming is dirt cheap. It's when you get into the retro stuff that you pay out the ass.
Like Atari games are cheap, but I feel like the mid 90s are where the price, the peak of prices are.
GameCube. Like, I'm so happy. I really hope when we go this fishing trip, I can get that Wind Waker back from Nick so that I can store it on my shelf and hand it down to my kids and they can buy like a country with it, in a couple of years.
I'd be happy to I can't wait to get that out of my house. Like, it scares me having it in. Like, full on, like, I'm like petrified. I'm like, if anything happens to me, Matt is going to fucking kill me.
I don't know about kill, but I will complain. That's what you'll be subjected to is lots of whining. Like
it's so bad.
All the way to the day you die. To like, it'll be actually probably in like either one of your kids' eulogy. You took our inheritance. That Wind Waker
was worse. listening to Matt bitch all the time or listening to Nick snore. I live with both of you. It's toss up.
Things should just go my way, and then we wouldn't have these problems.
Oh, fuck.
All right, John, the big show. What'd you get?
I got a coffee maker. It's dual function. No,
I couldn't tell if you were serious or not.
I was thrown off because that chat has also devolved into just random things as well. Besides,
I gotta fuck with you a little bit. I mean, I don't know. That's
I
just
could see
what I
you
do.
putting a coffee maker in our pickup chat. I could easily see that being what you do.
I mean, that's not even what I'm proud of. I got a good deal on an ice auger, so that was more rewarding for me. We got an NES and a SNES.
So, that's your second SNES
Yep.
you have, and 3 NESs now?
3, yes.
And none of them work currently.
Nope. One did, and I tested all the games with it. Dr. Mario played. I don't know exactly what's wrong. They are finicky.
They're wicked. That the pins, that like zero insertion force pin,
Just jams them.
it just sucks. It's just awful.
So yeah, I might get new pins because they're cheap. I think they're replacement ones. So
I don't find them to be good, to be honest with you.
okay.
I tried to replace mine, and they're not as good of a quality. And I still had the same problems. And I ended up boiling mine and then like kind of loosely bending them a little bit back.
Yep.
I think I bent them too much. So I'm like ramming shitty games in there, hoping to like, loosen her up a bit.
Yep.
But yeah,
I'll figure it out. But yeah, that was good. I got 2 of the guns. I never had one for the NES, so I have 2 now. And then
So many hours spent on Duck Hunt. So many hours.
Yeah, it's fun.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
And this loops back to our previous conversation. If you have 2 Super Nintendos and multiple NESs, would you ever put a translucent shell on those?
No.
Oh, man. All right.
Is that going to be just trade fodder for something, or?
Yeah, or I do like a lot. What I was thinking about is I have another Nintendo 64 as well, is that I do the old TV and the 3 Nintendos as a lot, and I sell it for like $400 and see if anybody nibbles.
Retro, yeah, Nintendo retro lot.
Yeah.
You'd be one of those people like retro TV, $200. It's like,
It's good. It's not great.
I remember when you got that TV.
Yeah, I had to lug it up the stairs of doom. If not, I'll give it to the Sanford guy. I'll just bring it in, and then I'll go beat all the weebs at Smash Brothers on a Monday.
But what are you going after? Like, if you're offloading consoles, what are you chasing down? Like, what is on your hunt right now?
Maybe some more Dreamcast games.
Oh, so you're going the Dreamcast route?
Yeah, and
Pricey route.
Yeah. So Ben's getting married this year up here, and so he wanted me to look up a couple things for him, and then he found he wanted someone for oysters and maybe another seafood thing. So we were talking back and forth, and I asked him if he still had his Dreamcast because Skies of Arcadia always comes up, and that he had that, and he was like, "No, I don't play it anymore." But he sent me pictures of his collection. He plays Switch and PlayStation now, so maybe he'll jump on to like a Mario Kart battle or something.
Oh yeah,
at some point. Let's see. He has Sonic Adventure 2,
solid,
Shenmue, Phantasy Star Online, Sega Rally, Jet Grind Radio, Matt Hoffman BMX, Crazy Taxi, Hydro Thunder, Sonic Adventure. What was the other thing?
Dude, that's a lot.
That's a decent
price chart. Those price chart Jet Grind Radio.
Sega GT Trick Style, NBA 2K1 Time Stalkers,
Jesus, that's a lot right
Sonic Shuffle, Soul Calibur, Grandia 2, and Evolution.
Oh my
Grandia 2?
fuck,
Yeah.
dude. Get it. Get that.
So I was like, if you don't want it, I'll buy the lot off you.
You can't afford that lot.
I don't know.
You definitely need a friend's discount on that one.
I might make him something for the wedding. Like, I know that they're getting married at like a nice
him?
outdoor venue. Yeah, congrats. You don't have to wait till it's sell Wind Waker. Your kids sell Wind Waker.
Oh my god, that is an impressive collection.
He does all right
from this area. Like, I don't know. We were talking about this the other day. A couple of friends from school.
No, I'm assuming these are all CIBs, John.
Well, it's just the case. I don't know if that constitutes CIB.
Yeah, if you get the manual, probably does. If it's got the front cover,
manual and there. I mean, Grandia 2 is. I mean, that's $55 right there.
Yeah. Look up Jet Grind. 75 is what I'm guessing. And Skies of Arcadia is probably in the same realm. If I
That's
guess.
one something, dude. That Skies of Arcadia is like 150.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking market makes absolutely no sense right now. Sonic
65 for Jet Grind Radio.
Sonic is, I bet, 50, if not 60 at this point. Sonic Adventure 1. Yeah, if you had two, I think 2 goes for even more.
He did. He has both.
The second one, I think, is in the hundreds.
Yeah, we used to play Sonic Adventure. He had the old TV in the basement that had the knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't use the
Sonic Adventure 2, if it's both the case and pretty much CIB, is 120.
Not shocked by that. So, John, you better start selling yourself or build this house. One of the two.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll see if he wants lawn games for the wedding.
Yeah, you better
make that shit out of maple.
Make it out of maple. All right. Well, we've gone in for a little bit. I think we got to get into the game of the week.
Half an hour of bullshit.
I know we got to jump the island, as it were, and hop over to another island.
Just jump the island. That's not a John segue, Nick, but we'll take it.
I know. Sorry. Tried.
So, our game of the week is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
It's a Wind Waker. Dude, I love this music.
All right, so hold on. We're gonna have some order here. I'm gonna cut Nick off because Nick does this every fucking episode where it's like we're gonna follow some logical progression, and Nick's like, "This game's amazing," or "This game sucks." It's like, okay, we want to just hit stop.
Put my little stew on. It's great stew.
Okay.
Just pick up and play it, all.
Every episode, I shit you know, I went back and listened to a couple of them, and all of them are you like, okay, guys, let's talk about the game. Nick comes up, I'm like, I'd give this a 6.5, not that good. Okay, and it's like, all right, episode's done.
There's my ADHD kicking right on in. Like, I'm bored with this conversation. Can we go?
You just suffer through.
Fucking rail a Ritalin before you get on.
We should all pop pills.
Sit there like this and be a fucking computer. Can recite every line from the dialogue.
Probably would happen.
Oh my god!
Oh, what are you drinking? We didn't do that.
Oh, I'm doing Happy Hour by Peak.
Very nice.
Proud of you. Not drinking shit.
I have the last of my Christmas tubulars.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I'm gone fancy for this. So
I got a T-shirt of Tubular now. They gave me $50 to Ono Brewing. Yeah.
Excellent. This is delicious. God, they're my favorite beer.
Yep. I went themed for this, and I'm drinking a Land Shark.
Oh, what a
No.
guy. Very fancy. Very fancy.
Wicked.
All right. So I'll start with Nick because he's ready to go. One, do you remember when this came out? What's your experience with it? Give me the backstory. Your backstory of Wind Waker, if you have any.
None.
You're a virgin.
This is straight up, yep, tight on this one. I actually because this was I don't think I got a GameCube until after high school. So I think that's when the GameCube was out. So I didn't really do much gaming, console gaming. I did have a GameCube, but the only games I had for my GameCube was Spider-Man 2 and Mario Kart Double Dash. And I played it once in a great while, but I was mostly computer gaming.
Yep.
By computer gaming, I was playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, it
was either Diablo 2 or probably what was the other one I was playing? Probably one of the FPSs out there on the game on the computer.
Yep.
Typically, so I wasn't really doing much console gaming, so I did not actually know of this game too much. I mean, I think I've seen an advertisement, but that's probably about it. I just remember, I think, seeing it as a cartoon, I'm like, oh, that's weird of way to go. I wasn't thinking to go that route, and I was like, oh, why is Link on a sailboat? Oh, okay, sure. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I didn't have really much thought, so I was just like, oh, again, it came out during time of life where I didn't do much console gaming at that point.
Interesting. So we got a virgin here. John, do you have any experience or knowledge of this game from way back when?
Barely. I don't think I knew anybody that had a copy of it. The Toon Link from Melee?
Yep.
Was he in Melee? Yeah.
He was in Melee.
Yep. Another Link iteration, same moveset. I think I use him in Ultimate. He's pretty good. But other than that, I knew that the boat talked to you and that you sailed around. That was all that I remembered from looking stuff up. Because I didn't have a GameCube and I went Xbox. So
yep.
It was not in my lane at that time. And I knew that people were like, it's not as good. So I went with the masses and was like, nah, I won't play that. It's not real Zelda, but I didn't like Ocarina of Time as much as everyone else either. So
really,
yeah,
well, you're a 2D Zelda, and I'm sure we'll touch on that later. You've always been a 2D Zelda fanatic.
I'd like to see when you guys rank the Zeldas you played, where you put them.
John and I will be pretty similar. I would bet. We've had conversations about this in the past, and I think
because I found a website where I was thrown off by where everything was placed of all the Zeldas.
This one rocketed up for me.
Did it?
Clearly.
Oh, well, hold that thought there, Nick. To the sequel.
Yeah.
So I vividly remember when this game was announced and when it came out. And I don't know if this is one of those things I'm falsely remembering things that didn't happen. I'm just filling in memories that happened after the fact. So again, around this time, we've talked about this a couple times, Xbox was big then and Halo was big and you've kind of matured, right? We played N64 and 007 and games grew up with us. So we went into the Xbox PS2 era, we matured. We're playing Halo now. We're fucking shooting aliens. We got Grand Theft Auto. We're going to bang some hookers and kill them and leave them out. And I always kept a passing interest in Nintendo because I never had a 64. I just played on everyone else's. So my plan was always I'm too late for N64. I'm going to need to I'll get a GameCube. I'm going to get the next Nintendo system. And then Xbox came out and that just it didn't happen. We just played Halo. And one of the things that turned me off about Nintendo was they announced the GameCube, and it's I don't know, I was a teenager at the time, but it's this fucking purple box. It's a fucking stupid looking purple box, and here's this cool, sleek black box with a green logo that I can shoot fucking aliens with 16 of my friends, and you're giving me this purple fucking cube.
Was that the only one that was out at that time?
No, Zelda, like Luigi's Mansion, I think was a launch game, which I just kind of like, well, where's Mario? Right?
No, I mean, like, didn't they have, because you just fixed, modded my black box
Yep.
one. Did they have different color? I can't remember. Like, I had the purple one too. I initially had a purple one because it came with Double Dash.
Yep.
So I didn't know if like they had other colors because I just think I remember exactly. I think I was going through Walmart at the time I was making okay money, and I think I saw it for like $100 deal. If that sounds about right. I think I had for $100. I'm like, oh, okay. I can spend $100 on like a console and game.
Yeah.
And that's how I bought it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the colors. I think it was just purple at first, but I don't think our colors were too far behind, honestly, because it didn't do all that well. So they did everything they could to drum up sales. Big price cuts, throwing games. They did a lot of things, but so
the advertisement on the GameCube, I'll say, is pretty fun. Like, have you seen this advertisement? Like, they really try to push it with the celebrities.
Yeah, Paris Hilton posing with an Xbox with a GameCube doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
Didn't sell you on it?
No, like it was a kid console, and that was my problem. Was like, Mario, right? Fucking love Mario. Mario 64, like that game was fucking awesome. I'd play that at Justin's house. Like, we fucking love that game. What's Mario on GameCube? Mario's cleaning up dirty streets with a water gun. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And then I remember when they announced, because I think Sunshine came out before Wind Waker. And then when I saw the screenshots of Wind Waker, I was like, this is a fucking kid's game. And this is a kid's console. And like, Nintendo has jumped the shark and they're basically trying to become fucking Disney. And I had none of it. Like, I was one of the people that I did not play this game, but I was like, I had no experience with it. But regardless, I was like viscerally opposed to it.
Yeah.
Like, I would like, I didn't get on forums then. I didn't write on forums then, but I would have been that guy screeching loudly back in like 2001, like, or 2002, whatever. Like, this isn't Zelda. This is fucking Zelda. This is
Zelda. Yeah.
Zelda. I
saw that.
Yep. I would have.
I was writing on forums now, like just trying to bring back those type of forums.
Oh man, I'm on Dreamcast Talk. I get on there every now and then. Get the good scoop.
All 12 of you.
me and a bunch of British guys hanging out. No, but no, I hated the look of this game. I could not fucking stand the art style of this game because we went from NES to Super Nintendo. And then from Super Nintendo, they matured into Ocarina of Time, and I loved that style. And then this game got announced, and I'm like, what the fuck kind of rug pull are you pulling, Nintendo? And I wanted nothing to do with it. So I'm coming back and revisiting this game after years of just like passionate hatred of it for no apparent reason.
So, because I currently am holder of your copy.
Yes.
So clearly you did make a purchase for the game.
I had to own it. I got a GameCube, so I had to own it. I had to give it a try. I had to be fair.
Okay, knowing today's market, how much was that investment?
I think I spent $30 on it at the time.
Wow, not bad.
The prices have gone insane. So I didn't pay a ton for it, but it, like over COVID, the value of this goddamn thing shot through the roof.
I mean, it's a clean cut because you even have, I think you have some of not just the, it's complete. It's like it's not a standard CIB where I think CIB is you have at least you have the case, the original case, obviously, you have the game, and you have the manual. I don't care if
promo materials too. Yeah.
But you have everything it came with, like all the promo material, everything that it came with, it's in there. Yep. Like I literally opened up, put the game in, and shut the case, and kept the case where it needs to be. Like I make sure it doesn't fall, doesn't get scratched on. Like
when'd you buy yours, Matt?
Nick and I were just talking about that before the pandemic.
Yeah,
because it was like $30,
and now I think it's at least 100 if it's complete.
Oh, I don't know. Did it jump that much? I thought it was in the 60s.
I thought it could jump pretty good. I thought.
I just was in panic because I didn't want to rebuy it.
Yeah, this is one of my lot finds.
Yeah.
Where I went and bought an Xbox 360 and a bunch of stuff, and they had this tucked in it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I think I wound up paying $10 for it.
Jesus Christ!
I bought the lot for 50, and I sold the Xbox and a couple games for 40, and now it's
$71.
Like 70.
Jesus, that's stupid. GameCube's stupid.
It's weird.
No, but I picked this game. So for the listener, this has been in the works. So like I did not meet I was supposed to get Zelda in before the end of the year and it didn't happen. This has been in the works since the summer. Because Nick, I got you this copy in the summer in preparation for playing.
I've been holding it. Like it's been in its box with its tissue paper. Like you had a nice, so like there's no like way for it to jar. I literally kept it right there. And I was like, still now, like I see the disc. Like I came down one day because I keep the disc in there. I don't want to take it out until I have to get it back to you. So I'm like, I'll if I have to pry this Wii apart to get out safely, if that ever happened, I would. I had no problem sacrificing that. But I was like, I came down and it was out. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it? It was still there. But I'm like, what was it? The cat? Did the cat come by to scratch? What's going on?
Like pick that one game off the shelf like that.
And eject it, clawed it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm happy that my kids don't come down to my game room because it's like, I hate having something like that. Cause I'm like, great, I would buy you if I had to. I'd buy you a new one. I'd just go out and just buy it again, but don't want to go that route. I mean, actually, what I was tempted to do, was give you the game back, but pop in Tarzan.
The ultimate rug pull. The ultimate rug pull.
Wow.
Like I want to do, I'd probably just stuff put it in the Tarzan case and put it like in your bag, just so you wouldn't know it. And just give it to you there, and just like have it so when you get home, you open up, you're like,
what the motherfucker? That motherfucker.
Then I'd be like, I text him like, it's in your bag, Tarzan case.
I don't know if you jump.
Then I went to drop house. I'm like, no, my fucking luck is one of his kids goes into his bag right before, takes out Tarzan case. He's like, oh, Nick gave me a case. Yeah, I don't fucking care what happens to that $2 or $3 game. And just starts chucking it around. And the next thing you know, this freaking game smashes. That's what played through my head. I'm like, no, he has kids. I can't do that.
You have put more thought into this one thing than you have with like every other thing.
Yeah, that's my ADHD brain. Will just go. We'll put more thought into something.
Focused. You literally like you're Danny Ocean. You're gonna break into the bank and start stealing shit into the casino. Oh shit! All right, fucking A, man. 50 minutes. Development.
Sidetracked.
Do you guys know any of the development on this one?
It was the Zelda team from the past two, right?
Yeah. So all the same guys, I think, are involved on this. I mean, Miyamoto's clearly involved. I can't pronounce the guy's name. I'm gonna try to butcher it if I can get it to fucking load up.
E.G. Anuma.
Anuma, yeah, I always butcher his name. I mean, he's been tied, I think, with every Zelda going back to the initial one. I don't even know if he can escape Zelda at this point. Who else is a name on this? Tezuka's on this. I mean, all the normal people that you would expect to be on this game are on this game. They kind of had some challenges on this one. They had Ocarina of Time. They set out to kind of make Ocarina of Time 2, I guess. I mean, not Majora's Mask, but something in the.
Well, wasn't it what this was supposed to be, like the Ocarina 2, and this where it ended up developing into? They
started off like the models that they initially put out, and that was kind of the big rug pull. I've used that word too many times tonight. But you know, so Nintendo has this event called Space World. That's what they use. It was kind of like Nintendo's way of unveiling things. So they had a tech demo of what the GameCube could do in 2000. And it was like this amped up version of like Link fighting Ganon, you know, with the GameCube power behind it. You know, it's Ocarina of Time, but it's mind blowing. Of course, you go to watch it now and you're like, wow, this looks like complete dog shit. But back then, it was amazing. So then Space World 2001 rolls around and we see a very different build. We see a cell shaded cartoon version of it. And then the world went completely fucking nuts. What had happened in between was they had tried to build basically like Ocarina Time 2 or 3, whatever it was, and they just couldn't. It felt, you'll notice this a lot with Nintendo, where the fans are on most Nintendo games just want them to do a sequel. Like me, for example, I want them to make F-Zero GX2. If they just made that, I would be fucking happy as hell. Nintendo won't do that because Nintendo doesn't want to make a game that is derivative of a previous game that they did. That's why we can't have Mario 64 2. We have to have Mario running around with a goddamn jetpack water thing. You know, we can't have Mario 64 2. We have to have Mario in space. You know, we have to have Mario. Nintendo will not make a derivative work off one of their other works. They have to introduce something new. So when they started making this game, it basically looked like it was going to be Ocarina Time 2, and they grew tired of it. So the art style of this game was because they were bored making Zelda the way they always had made Zelda before. I think at this point, cell shading was still fairly new.
I remember when it started coming in because this wasn't the only game that started really doing it. I mean, you think around this time, a lot of games were actually starting to adopt it.
Like Jet Grind was the big one.
Yeah,
that's the big one. But there were others. Like you're right, there are others that were using cell shading at this time.
One of our top games is actually I'd argue is kind of has some cell shading into it. Demacy.
Yeah, I guess kind of had some of it.
Background. It's just that kind of weird art style.
Origami art style.
Yeah.
Well, was it not? There's that one that had like a paintbrush fox too that was coming out around the same time. I think it was on PlayStation 2.
Oh, Kami?
Yeah, I think that one.
Yeah, that was cell shaded.
Yep.
There was another. There was a shooter that was cell shaded. There's a bunch of it. There's a bunch of it. I mean, it's a popular technique.
It's nice. It's actually kind of refreshing, and I think if anything, it takes away from, that bad polygons.
It ages well.
It ages a lot better. It's kind of like 8-bit. The style of art just ages, or the style of graphics just ages very well.
So, as expected, this game generated a lot of, divided opinions when it was unveiled. I think you had a lot of people who, at the time, I think if you had come from Link to the Past and kind of an older gamer, maybe jumping into a cartoon-style game probably wouldn't bother you much. You probably wouldn't have that reaction that I did. But the age that I was, like, I'm growing up with games, Nintendo's growing up with me. It's like, this is fucking kiddie shit. I'm done with this.
Right.
And this is like kind of like dawn of the internet. So, before it would be you and your buddies like shooting the shit on the playground. Now you're jumping online, like posting in forums, like IGN, I think was blowing up at the time. So you had this like internet effect, which we see very commonly now. And I think once that happened, you had kind of two camps. You had people who appreciated this new style that they were bringing into Zelda, and you had people that, like me, thought it was a big deviation from what they had done in the past. So I think at one point Miyamoto said, don't do anything, don't show anything more on this until like you actually have a workable tech demo that you can show people this thing actually running. Because if you're just showing like a couple screenshots or a video, people aren't going to understand what this is, and it's just going to piss them off.
Yeah.
Which we see that in a lot of games nowadays. So, Yep. So the game was released in 2002 in Japan, December 2002. We didn't get it until March of 2003.
Yep.
which is crazy to think about because at that point, I think the Dreamcast would have been out. The GameCube would have been out 2 years?
2001, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. I did not. The GameCube actually had a pretty good run then. Ultimately, as far as because I don't think I bought mine until 2005.
Yeah, it was still active then. Because what was a Wii? Wii was 2007, right? 6,
Yeah,
7?
so I mean
that
was pretty not too bad for a console to. I mean, for one that doesn't have a huge library,
and for one that struggled.
Yeah,
let's call it what it is.
Because I think, I remember that. I mean, that's probably why I paid $100 for my console bundle too.
Yep. And this game too. Did you? Oh, so you didn't get this. Never mind. You didn't get this with the bundle. Never mind. You got Double Dash.
Double Dash, and then I bought Spider-Man because it's Spider-Man.
Did they have some sort of limited edition feature, Wind Waker, styling on the cube or the controller or something?
I don't think so. I think the big sell on this was they did a pack-in where they did. There was an option that, I think, if you bought this, they had a bonus disc that had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask ported to GameCube. Shittily, by the way, Majora's Mask is goddamn unplayable on the GameCube.
And that I've seen that for sale, and it's expensive.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it is. So let's get into the game. I'm terrible on story in Zelda. I actually have a controversial opinion on Zelda's storyline. I think it's all
so
bullshit.
Regurgitated, man.
I have the timeline in front of me.
That is what I think is bullshit. So tell me, Nick, what is this? What is the story?
So
I can't stop coughing.
There's it's 3 separate timelines, I guess, or it's a timeline that got split. It's pretty much split into 2 things. It was split from if the hero defeats Ganon, or if the Ganon defeats the hero. So those are the 2 fractures. And then
that's of Ocarina of Time, right? Ocarina of Time is where it splits.
So here, no, actually, that's where it does. Yeah, it does split there. But there's so I was oh, what's the timeline? If I wanted to play these games in not order of release, but chronicle or order of what game is supposed to be the first one, right?
Yep.
So the first game, and I think what the image of the time, because I think it's from actually the book that comes out, is the first. Come on, open image in a new tab. There we go. Sorry, open up the PDF. So the first game, so it starts off with timeline A, and Skyward Sword is the first game, and this would be the first game in the series, even though it's technically game 15 release.
Yep.
Then it goes to Minish Cap, to 4 Swords, to Ocarina of Time, and that's where it splits. So if the hero is defeated, it then goes to A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons, and Oracle of Ages, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, The Legend of Zelda, The Adventures of Link,
Zelda 2.
So that's where it goes if the hero is defeated. Then the other split is if the hero is triumphant. So childhood timeline, it says. So Ganondorf's plot is stopped. It goes Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, 4 Swords Adventure. And then there's timeline D, again underneath the hero is triumphant. Adult timeline, Ganon is sealed away. It's Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks.
So,
but I don't know where,
all over the place.
Here's my comment on that. That is all fucking bullshit. That is all somebody just shit in a book in Nintendo Cat. They had no planning of that timeline, and they just worked back into it in order to make it it's like James Bond, right? I don't give a fuck the order of operations in James Bond. I don't care. Moonraker happened before, after GoldenEye. It doesn't matter. Different dude. There's no continuity. It's just a new adventure, and then you move on. And in Zelda, it's kind of like they're like, oh man, people wanted a story. So, there's a time mechanic. We're just gonna tie this in. They made that up. That's complete and utter dog shit.
The only link that makes sense is that Wind Waker predates Link's Awakening, because in the beginning of Link's Awakening, he's on a ship and it crashes.
Yeah, but that's a different timeline though. That, according to them, that's not even the same timeline, because Link's Awakening is in with Link to the Past.
That is so dumb.
So in this one, if I remember right, like, you win, right? As with this timeline we're allegedly in, this is where Link defeats Ganon as an adult and seals him away. So I believe the story in this one, and spoilers to anyone who didn't play this game back in 2002, 3, you're too late. I think what happened was Ganon was supposed to come back. Like, there's like a prophecy, and Ganon's supposed to come back. And then what happened was the hero didn't come back when he was supposed to. So Ganon came back. The hero didn't come back. So in order to deal with the fact that Ganon was there, they flooded the Earth. They flooded Hyrule. So that's why, like, that was their means of dealing with Ganon, was to flood it, as a means of protecting things.
And then he just gets a giant bird anyway.
So spoilers. Hyrule, you're pretty much the reason why you're going to Island. You're pretty much on the tip of probably every little mountain that was in Hyrule, and Hyrule is actually underneath this whole game.
It's the plot of Waterworld. Like, literally, you are Kevin Costner, and you've developed fucking swimming
legit
gills and apparatus.
I mean, this is straight up like, Waterworld all over. It's.
If we say Kevin Costner enough, do we get more listeners because he's so popular now?
Yeah, he's on a resurgence. I hope so. We can get from like our moms. Maybe we'll pick up more of the mom demographic. Yeah, which is really our prime demographic.
Anyways, they're talking about that Kevin Costner.
Give me some of that Wind Waker. So that is the universe you're in, and correct me on my story, because again, it's a Zelda game. I don't want a fucking story. You're at your like coming of age on the island. You're there with your grandmother and everyone else, and like your sister gets abducted. Correct?
Yep.
Before that,
okay. What did I miss? Sorry.
No, I want to interject with my favorite character in all of the Zeldas. Is that little kid with a giant snotty nose that runs after you.
I avoided that kid. He started running for me, so I just ran away from him.
It's like oh my God, my kid's chasing me. He's always got a runny nose.
I got 2 snot-nosed brats here. I don't need another one chasing me.
Did you guys actually do side quests in this at all?
Oh God, that's most of the game.
I didn't. Too much.
I actually found myself on a side quest. I'm like, no, I gotta get this game. I gotta get to the end of this game. Still didn't get to the end of this game. Spoiler, but like I didn't know. I'm like, okay, I just need to find what I need to do to get either the weapon or just keep on the line of getting to the end of this game. And like, there's so many effing side quests. Like, from the first island you land on, like, hey, you need to find my daughter. Hey, and by the way, that guy, I was ready to take out my sword and just stick him. Because once you talk to him once, like if you're even in like if he just bookstore, hey, go find my daughter. Hey, go find my daughter. Hey, go find my daughter. I'm like, no, bro,
fuck off.
Yeah, I think the only side quest I remember realistically doing is finding the teacher's kids.
Oh, that sucked. Okay, so hold on, we got too far. Hold on, go back. So you're on the island, right? Your sister gets abducted, right? Because she has pointy ears. Because I think what's happening is
blonde.
Ganon's trying to find Zelda, who has pointy ears and blonde. So he's abducting all these girls, trying to find the right one. Well, I don't know why.
We're going to back up even just a little bit before that. Initially, go see your sister, which is on top of this random fucking crow's nest. And it's not like it's just a pretty much a pole out in the middle with a big crow's nest. That's
your lookout.
The lookout point.
She gives you the telescope.
She gives you a spyglass, and she's like, "Oh, here you go. Oh, you should probably go." And the next thing you know, you see this giant fucking bird, or you're looking at the postman and you see it's going crazy. The postman's Birdman. I forget what they're called. They're called
Rudo or something like that. There's an R. Yeah.
And you see him go crazy. Next thing you know, you see this giant bird drop a blonde-haired girl in the woods, and you decide to go rescue her or help her. I think you can't go any further, so I end up going to. I think you have to go get a shield, and then you have to get a sword. And
I can't remember the order.
Yeah. Whatever be the case, I'm like, okay. The next thing you know, I'm training with this old guy with a pot belly that is hunched over. And he teaches you how to do your basic. I mean, one thing I did actually appreciate with this game is it did teach you along the way how to do certain things.
I actually will praise its movement because I'm pretty sure the movement is very similar in Twilight Prince and all the other ones. Mm-hmm. Like the things the forward and maybe in Ocarina of Time. I haven't played Ocarina of Time in so long. I can't remember if Ocarina of Time came up with a lot of these movements.
It felt more jagged in Ocarina of Time that I remember. It was more fluid in this and Twilight Princess. Could
you like jump around and slash the backside, and could you poke forward and jump? Did you have all those moves? I can't remember.
In Ocarina of Time, you can like go back to back and kind of dodge. Mm-hmm. But I like how
you couldn't do a backslash. You couldn't in Ocarina.
No,
I don't think.
But I like how like you had that function. Like, oh hey, you're gonna get pretty much a parry message. Like your A, in a sense, your A button will flash and say, "Hey, that's your parry," or the way to combat. So I like that. The fighting was just that part of the game was very fluid. Like I had no problem going and attacking enemies. I felt like it was very nice and smooth. And I think I've rarely only time I actually died was actually because I was either accidentally jumping off something, but never against actual enemy.
Yeah.
So I felt like the movement it wasn't like, if I did, it's because, I wasn't paying attention, but I felt like, or I didn't know how to defeat the character. But I felt like it was like, oh, I understand the movements enough where I can hold your own. And it actually felt like you're battling. It didn't feel like, oh, dash, slash. Like there's actually some like battling back and forth using your shield, blocking. I don't know. It just felt nice.
It had some sound cues too that were really cool. The combat in this game was really good. I will give it that. Like it was fun to fight the enemies in this game. All the other Zelda games I going forward, I think are fun fighting enemies. I can't remember liking Ocarina of Time's combat as much as this. So
it's pretty much button mashing.
Yeah, this may be the one they all built off from.
The worst enemy in this game was the camera.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
So, Ocarina, Majora's, and this one, the camera was tough. You're lining up things to jump and just...
Oh, yeah. I think I jumped off so many things. Last night, I was cursing so much as I was playing through. I'm like, I had to like jump from one place to another. I'm like, son of a bitch, I overjumped. Like, there's that one part where you're in the... We'll backtrack, but when you get into the god's temple or tower, and you have to like move these blocks around to jump across, and as the water rises, and you have to make sure you can light the torches appropriate, but you have to carry your torch across pretty much water and jump off. That took me forever just because I'd either overjump or I would be just off just a slight hair and just fall into water and have.
The pirate ship where you're swinging, that took me a bit, off of the start. I actually didn't mind the camera per se, but I did hate that like this is like early 2000s gaming in 3D where it's like we got the power to do things, but we still don't have the understanding of what we're doing. So like a lot of games in this time. It was inverted. The x-axis is in. Like, I remember like Final Fantasy 12 is also in. That drove me crazy because when I go like I'm playing other modern games now, and like the convention now is your camera is basically your head. So if I look right, I move the stick right, I look right. In games like this, like the idea is that the camera is an object that's following you. So if I move the stick right. Really, what's happening is it's shifting the camera behind you, so really everything's going left.
That's brutal.
It took a long time to get that.
Yep.
But
I heard that Wind Waker HD fixed some of the stuff. I don't know if it fixed the inverted camera, but like you're talking about swinging, like you had to stop when you had your grappling hook and like redirect yourself. In this one, you could just do it in real time. And just a lot of the other quirky nuances with this one, with maps and inventory.
Which version did you play, John?
That. Oh, Wind Waker. I don't have a Wii U.
Oh. I'd be the only one that can play that one, and I still committed to play the GameCube one, even though that is the superior version.
Right,
and I've seen gameplay of that. It looks like they clean. Like this one looks still good.
It's beautiful.
This one's still pretty, but that one looks, like you said, beautiful. Like it's like, oh, let's just add just a little bit more to it, and it's like if they had just a little bit more time to get out the door, they did it. They finished it. They got it finished.
I watched one video where the guy said that it washed out some of the things, but other than that, everything, the mechanics were improved. I feel like it had substantial upgrades compared to like a couple of the other games we've played where you could have played, like Link's Awakening DX. I mean, it added a color dungeon, but everything else was pretty much the same.
What was the other thing? Because I played that one. Wasn't there like a tunic difference too?
You could have
the color tunics.
Yeah.
I think the big thing on the and we'll talk about this when we get into the mechanics of the game a little bit more, but the big thing is they introduced like the upgraded sail, where you didn't need to change wind direction when you use the sail, and your boat sailed twice as fast. So like wherever your boat faced, the wind just always blew at your back. Was a change they made in the Wii U version. They also changed.
That's a pain in the ass. Sometimes you had to just like, oh, let me get out my baton and
So I might as well jump into that. So like the main basis of this game, like all the other Zelda games out there, you're exploring kind of an open-ish world, although some are less open than others. This, you're on water, right? I mean, there's a grid. I think it's like 7 squares by 7. I think it's 49 squares, right?
Yep.
And you're exploring by sailing. And where in like the previous game, you played your main focal item is the Ocarina of Time. In this, it is the Wind Waker, which allows you to do a bunch of things. You know, the most commonly used thing is you get to direct the change of the wind, what direction the winds are going, which helps you when you're sailing.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it was one of those things that was like, it was kind of, I feel like it was almost like not fully integrated, I guess. I don't know. It didn't feel like a part of the game in the sense of, I feel like, at least with Ocarina of Time, I felt like you used that more.
Yep.
And then this one, I think you use it once in a great while if you had to do, like, change the wind. Okay, let me just change the wind, make sure it's going the right way.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes I didn't.
That was annoying.
But it wasn't that often, realistically. It wasn't really.
I used it quite a bit.
Yeah. Like, I actually found myself, I guess, with luck most of the time where the wind was like going fairly well to the same area. Then I'd change if I had to. And then, like, the command, you get, like, the command
move
one,
the dudes.
That one.
I wasted so much time just fucking sailing around.
And then, did you guys get to the one where I never actually ran into it? The Twister God, Cyclos. You get his. So, that's one that is a side. It's like on a random.
I probably did. Refresh me on what it is.
So there's the two gods. There's the one you initially see, Zephyros.
Yep.
He's the one that gives you his song to guide the wind and push it wherever you want. Then there's Cyclos, which is his brother, who you end up having to shoot him with an arrow 3 times, and he then respects you, and he gives you the ability to make a cyclone to pretty much warp wherever you need to go.
Yes. Yep. Which helped.
Yeah, greatly, right? Especially if you had to go through a bunch. And then I think there's one other one, but like I said, it didn't feel like it was fully like needed. Like I didn't feel like it was like, oh, maybe I had to play like you had to play the Song of Time. You had to play it for each sage had their song. Like I felt like there's a lot more songs, I guess, and a lot more uses of it. I felt like it was more at least with Ocarina of Time, their instrument was integrated. I feel like with Wind Waker, that would be as well. but maybe not. I guess maybe
it's not as cool. I don't know how to describe it otherwise. I like the Ocarina just made more sense to me. Like you played the buttons and it's a flute and whatever.
Yeah.
This, I mean, it's a baton. You're directing the wind. So like a music dork like John would look at this and go, "Oh, okay, I get it. I'm changing time signatures. I'm in 3/4. I'm in 4/4. I was getting 6/4 or 4/6, 6/4. I think this, yeah. So, and you have to pick the beats per minute. Using you pick the time signature by moving left and right on the regular stick, and then you direct the wind using the C stick.
I did not like that tone. It sounded like a shitty gong.
Yeah, and then when you actually heard the music, you're like, oh, okay. So
I hear the Song of Storms in my head every once in a while from Ocarina of Time. That one was so catchy, man. I think the opening to this is
no, that one's stuck in my head.
Yeah, the opening to this was great, man. Koji Kondo, of course, right? Like he's the best ever to do it. So, of course, it's going to be amazing.
The music actually, and we'll get into my criticisms of the game later. The music punched much above the game's weight. Like I love this had an incredible soundtrack. Like
it was really good.
Happy and it was chipper, but it was like it fit. It fit. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
It kept you going. The characters were a little whimsical compared to other games.
Yep.
But it kind of was like, oh shit, I gotta keep going. Like I gotta go check this other stuff out. It's fun. Yeah.
Like what is it? Oh god, those little demon dudes.
Oh yeah,
those are a pain in the ass. I had one moment with this.
I was like, "You son of a bitches!" And it's the bug that sits out like these little like spiky dudes. They're pretty much they attach you, and all they do is slow you down.
Oh,
like,
you gotta spin.
Yeah, I know how to get rid of them, but hearing them like. Like I was like constantly when I was in it, like looking around, like where the fuck is this sound coming from? Because it's like I couldn't see them, but I'd hear them just randomly just moving around. They're just annoying. I thought some of the sounds, some of the characters, like the enemies or how they're drawn, those are fun.
It's funny because
the big guards with a huge ass friggin' lips.
I spent so long hating on the art. Yeah. I spent so long hating on the art style, and then when I got into the game, like I actually really like the art style. Coming at it from a fresh perspective, like it is well done. Like it's cool. Like the moblins, they're like you said, they're kind of lurched forward.
Yeah.
That first dungeon was kind of a weird one for Zelda, though, where you lose all your weapons and you're kind of stealthily sneaking around and the hiding under buckets and stuff.
You actually have to realistically get caught. You have to get caught for at least once. So
that first island took me longer than I'd like to admit.
No, that was my longest one. That was my longest island.
Yeah. I love the fucking leaf, man. I love it. You can float in Zelda games.
Yeah.
Like they did that in Breath of the Wild, and the little glider.
I was so pumped actually when I got my boomerang.
Yes.
God. And then I learned that you can multi-target. I'm like, what? I can multi-target with this bitch?
So could you multi-target in Ocarina of Time? I know Twilight Princess, the Gale Boomerang, let you multi-target. Was this the first one that let you multi-target your boomerang?
I think so.
I think it was.
It was a game changer. Like you could just like just like take out enemies. And like battling with it, like it was a nice battle, like sidearm. You just like I held that, and still even when I'm playing through, and I can't wait to when I give this to you. And if I haven't finished yet, and because you get my my GameCube modded, I'm gonna probably go through because I would like to play more of the side quests and just go through and just see what other weapons and other stuff, whatever it is, entail in this. But I just like using I would use my boomerang to knock the moblin unconscious, or you had to use it for jellies, especially electrocuted ones, and just like boom, 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 and just do your attack.
Oh, God,
a nice combination.
Yeah, the weapons. I like the fact that in this game, and it's kind of like a throwback to Link's Awakening. Like, not many of the Zelda games, like it's like your sword is always mapped to one thing, and you can like map another item to something. In this game, like you could map multiple. You know, it was like, it was Z and then the X and Y. So you had 3 that you could choose from at any time. And I think boomerang was almost always one that I had
boomerang,
mapped.
and then I might swap it out with a bow when I need a bow. Those flying bubbles, I guess they're called bubbles, but the flaming skulls, those are annoying. Just because until you get a bow, like you had to like using your boomerang did nothing to them.
Yep.
Like it didn't even there, and if you attack them with your sword, you're gonna catch on fire either way. But it was just But I think it was mostly. I don't think I ever used, besides that one time, I used the telescope, the spyglass.
What is the use of that? I was going to ask when we were talking about story early on.
I think it was mostly
what
like
does it do?
I think realistically, if you're like on the water, you're looking where you wanted to go. But realistically, like, look at the map. I'm like, okay, I'll just keep my guy going that direction. Or
it's a blurry thing, and it's a slightly less blurry thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you see like some guys like, oh, look at this thing over there, you can go from here to there. I'm like, I'd look. I'm like, I don't see what this guy's seeing. I never used it. I kept it off. It was pretty much boomerang, leaf, and what else did I have? I put a hammer on there for a while just because I liked having the skull hammer out. Then
so you know what I wish, Nick, you and John both could do this. I think I don't know what game is required to do it. Maybe you have to have an actual game to do it. But this game with a tingle tuner, you can hook a Game Boy Advance up to your cube when you play, and that's a way to always have a map on. So like that game, like that's a game changer. Rather than have to stop and like look to see where you are, like the Game Boy Advance functions as your map. It does other things too. Like this had Game Boy Advance incorporated. You could do some cool shit with it.
Yeah, tingle. I read that in one of the manuals, like tingle tuner.
I almost never used the tingle tuner.
Tingle's fucking weird. No, I didn't.
Keep that bastard locked in jail where he belongs.
Well, the other thing was kind of nifty is your weapons or your items acted differently on the boat too. So if you had bombs, you now have a cannon on your boat.
Yep.
If you had your claw or your hook shot, you can now acted as a crane, so you can find your treasure. And
I hated that.
That was cool. You didn't like it?
I liked it in theory. I hated lining up because it had like the sound and the glow, but the glow would disappear, and it's like, I'm not lined up. I have to move the boat 2 feet forward to drop this. And it's like, come on, you got to make me steer the wind and move my fucking boat.
It was nitpicky.
I didn't use the wind at all. I cut out the sail.
No brakes.
I just used the regular the guide there. Was there actually any good treasure that's actually down there? Oh, it was like rupees.
Some hearts. I think some of the hearts are under there.
I didn't bother hearts. I think I still had like 9 hearts or something like that. Nowhere
and I
near
think if I remember, I know the charts that you collect throughout the game. Don't some of them tell you some of the locations of things that are like
where they are? And then you have to find those fish, and they will draw your chart as well, your map.
And you can. I think you can bait them too.
Fishmen.
Yeah, sticky bait. Trap some seagulls. This had so much to it. Like, I want to know if you could do a chart, which Zelda had the most side quests, things you didn't have to do, but would
Breath of the Wild's got to take it
in the end.
Breath of the Wild's got to take it.
Yeah, because it's that semi open world.
This kind of felt like almost like a mid-step. Like Ocarina of Time, I think, is fairly linear. The dungeons are somewhat linear, but the game is somewhat more open.
The dungeons
is
seem
kind of like
very small in this game. Like when you did it,
the
like
dungeons
super small.
are my biggest, and I wanted to spend a lot of time on that, but the dungeons were my biggest disappointment in this game. Like my harshest criticisms are for the dungeons.
Bosses seem fairly easy too. Like it just
I mean,
seems,
the game as a whole was fairly easy, and maybe that's because they were aiming to have, I don't know, maybe younger players try it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, the GameCube, the generation after ours.
They gave
Gen
up on
Zs.
us. They're off
Yeah,
playing
man.
Halo.
like
Let's
too many
Gen.
people bitched about the water temple. We can't have that again.
Yeah, you guys burned all your eyeballs out in Ocarina of Time. Can't play this.
I found that almost all the dungeons for me were forgettable. Like when I was going through my notes, like I remember Forsaken Fortress because you had to sneak around. Like, oh, cool, we're aping Metal Gear
And
Solid.
do you really consider that a dungeon?
This game does. That is a dungeon for this game. I mean, really, like the dragon.
Think about how long that took us compared to the other ones, too.
I know, but it was almost.
Yeah.
I felt because you didn't actually fight an enemy in the sense of a dungeon boss. You get to the top, and then you're grabbed by the fucking big old bird and just tossed.
I'm counting it. I'm counting it.
Yeah.
I mean, this game. I think this game, and as I read more about it, I felt it more, and maybe that's my problem with it. They definitely cut corners to get this out. Like they cut 2 dungeons out of this game. They, it just to me it never felt like a fully formed game. Like the dungeons were my biggest sign of that. Like Ocarina of Time, very important dungeons, and then I am a Twilight Princess simp. I'll defend that shit all day. I don't care what the internet says. Fuck it yet. I love that game if you can get past the first, 3 collectathons. It's slow. It's a slow opening. It's a slow burn, but it's great. But that game, like dungeon upon dungeon and upon dungeon, like that game, awesome dungeons. And this game is just like, I gotta run around. I gotta go get this dragon whose butt's stuck in the thing and the monster's poking its butt. I don't know. I did not find the dungeons all that memorable. I remember the first 3. I forgot. What's the Tower of the Gods, the 4th one? Is that the rising water and the lowering water one?
That's the Tower of Gods. That's the one where after that, you're sent to go get the Master Sword. And then after that is the Fortress again. Oh, no, it's the Master Sword. Which is you running through, it's like everything's paused in time.
Yep.
And then once you get the Master Sword up, all the enemies are released and you have to defeat all the enemies before you leave. Which was a pain in the ass because that's when it introduces those like Doberman pinchers that are in armor, and you have to use a parry function quite a bit on that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which could be troublesome because sometimes they weren't also always dropping it. Like I had a hard time having to get one of the armor, just like the breast armor off. So I had to try to position myself, and the camera kept on fucking me over because some of them were located in like little crevices, hallways.
And that brings you to like the fun part of the game that everyone on the internet loves so joyously. I think, right? Once you get the Master Sword, that's when you do the fetch quest, right?
You get a Master Sword, and then you go back.
Earth and Wind. You got Earth and Wind Temple first, don't you?
And you run through those pretty quickly. You use one of the Rio, the bird girl there to help you out in the Earth Temple, which is weird. So I'm like, oh, she'll be in the Wind Temple. I don't know, like. It was weird because it was like, oh, you don't see a lot of the characters like I was looking to see. Like this was an open water world, right? So I'm like, oh, you're gonna see all of the fish people, like all the what are they called again?
The Zoras.
Zoras. I'm like, you should see Zoras up the wazoo.
But aren't the bird people an evolution of the fish people? I thought I saw that somewhere. I'm like, that's stupid. That's only like 100 years ago. You're not gonna turn from a fish into a bird over 100 years.
Well, you do see a Zora because Zora is one of the sages that did everything, right? One of the Zora. You see a Zora. You do see a Zora spirit sage.
I don't remember that. I remember a lot of it, to be honest with you.
And-
I dreaded recording some of this because I just couldn't remember half the shit. So here's one thing that
I gotta finish this game as a Zelda completionist.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
At some point.
This game, I actually had to set time limits for myself.
Did you?
Because I knew if this could be one of those games where I could have got sucked into, and it was. If I didn't, I literally set actually alarms. So I gave myself, no matter what, I set my time as I had to stop by 11 o'clock every night. And if I didn't, like, I get to play a couple nights ago. Just I was like, oh, we're gonna play it Monday night. My kid, woke up scared and had to take care of him, so I ended up leaving early. But like last night, I could have gone to easily into the wee hours of the morning. Like this game, I could have easily done and probably finished and beat last night into the morning if I did not set a time limit. And I think that's true for almost a lot of the Zelda games too. Like I could just keep on going and going. I'm like, oh well, I just finished this one. Like, well, let me just go into the next one. I can do the next one. It's almost like, it won't take me that long to do this next dungeon. Oh well, that didn't take me too long. Let me. And the next, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, oh shit, I fucked up. I fucked up big.
See, and maybe it's because you like kind of that. I don't know. I don't know if I want to call it work, but that's kind of a lot of this game is like exploring and finding.
FFT? Probably. Let me put in unnecessary work.
I didn't have a time limit. I can't sit on the floor upstairs anymore because my back hurts. So I'd have to call it quits.
The old man quitting call.
Yeah. So bad. I was like, shit, I should have gotten a Wii U and done the HD version because I could have had the little handheld. Just played it in bed.
No, what you fucking could have done was gone and modded your Wii. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter because your Wii's upstairs in the HD. So you're not running through your Wii through your TV downstairs, are you? Never mind. I take that back. You're in good shape for being old.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get some of my bitches out of the way, and then, because I've been very tame on this.
Bitch away.
I did not like, so you have your pearl, you need to catch, what, three, 4 pearls, something like that, in order to get your sister back?
Yeah.
I hate that you get the first 2 pearls, and then you just, like, show up to find this fucking whale dude, and he just gives you the 3rd pearl.
There was no 3rd dungeon.
Clearly, that was supposed to be a dungeon, and they cut it because they ran out of time.
Mm-hmm. Like I was waiting for like this big like fight, everything.
Like such a letdown. And then like the fire.
Yeah, I was going to say you love your pre and your post, right?
There's
like in Ocarina of Time, you had your pre in Twilight Princess, not in Breath of the Wild, but like I hear you.
There's like Zelda has kind of a flow to it. They can mix up a lot, but at the same time, like there's a pacing that I expect when I play a Zelda game. And it's like, this just kept like, you could tell things are missing. Like the fire island and the ice island, like in no way in any normal Zelda game would those not be a big to-do dungeon. Like, and this is just like, oh, you get the fire thing and the other thing, and you show up and it's like, oh, here's an item. And it's like, that's supposed to be a dungeon. That's not, you shortchanged me a dungeon.
On that, though.
All right.
The ice rod in Link to the Past is just in that little cave.
That's like a one-off. I mean, that game gave you 3 main dungeons, and then you get like, what, 7 or 8 dungeons when you're in the World of Dark?
7.
So that game did not fuck around.
7 pendants, 3 pendants, 8 crystals,
something like that. 3
crystals. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, 8 shards of the Triforce Courage.
Nick says I can't count Forbidden Fortress. So if that's the case, Dragon Roost Forbidden
I'm
Woods,
looking
Tower
at
of the
it.
Gods, Earth, Wind. So what's that? 6?
So
Five
I'm
dungeons?
double checking. You can, because it is considered one. Like I'm looking at it, and it does consider it as a fucking fortress. I just don't consider it as a fortress. Not to say it's not. By the way, I was just double checking your Zora thing where you said, "Oh, Zora went to Rito." You're right. I'm like, "Oh, that's stupid." Yeah. So
Fish
it
don't
was
come birds.
Forbidden. So wait, Forsaken Fortress, Tower of Gods, Forbidden Woods, Dragon Roost Cavern, Earth Temple, Wind Temple, Ganon's Tower, and Savage Labyrinth.
What is Savage
Oh,
Labyrinth?
that's a mini what they call a mini
Oh,
dungeon. But
yeah.
like, it's funny because like I figure they might even at least and they're putting Forsaken Fortress as a fucking dungeon. Wouldn't they put the Hyrule as a dungeon technically? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
You did more into
I don't know.
that than you did fighting than you did
Yeah.
initially seeking around.
So I didn't get into the Triforce parts, but I'm reading like one of the walkthroughs, and Triforce Shard 2 sounds like fucking Animal Crossing, where you find the killer bees, give 20 joy penance to Mrs. Marie, and get the cabana deed.
that
What?
that is the stupidest. So clearly there should have been more dungeons in this game, and they're just like, you know what? We're gonna make a fucking fetch quest out of it. So in the GameCube version, you have to find you have to find 8 charts. Those 8 charts you got to bring to Tingle, because you can't just decipher on your own. You got to bring it to Tingle, and that douchebag, he can't just do it for you. You have to pay him. It's like $300 or 400 rupees or whatever like that. In the Japanese version, it's even more. So you got to pay this guy all this money. So you got to accumulate all this money for him to decipher it. And then once he deciphers it, you have to then go and find the shard. So you have to find the chart, pay Tingle, and go find the chart like 8 times. Like, that is stupid.
You have the biggest wallet of any Zelda game in this one, I think.
1,000 rupees,
right? You can get,
and it goes up from there too.
No, you can get 10,000. It goes to 9,999, right?
Yeah.
I think
it makes sense. I don't know. I never got that far.
4 instead of 3.
Yeah, I only got to 1,000.
Just that's so stupid. And the Wii version, they cut it down to 5. You just need to get of the 8. You just need to come up with 5, which is a little more reasonable. But still, it's like, instead of a dungeon, you gave me a
grade.
fucking fetch quest. It's like, what is this? This is, and like that last third of the game or last part of the game, it's like things just fall apart. Like, you go Ganon's Tower, and I watched that. It's like, that's a boss rush. And it's like, come on. I know some of the other Zeldas had, I think Link to the Past had a boss rush at the end, right? You fought the first 3 bosses.
Yeah.
But in this game, it's like, you only got, according to Nick, we're going to count 6 dungeons. It's like, all right, I'm going to do a boss rush. I don't know. They just,
I mean, the whole thing was this whole game is a big fetch quest. Realistically, I mean, it's just like, oh, here's all your side missions. Let's do fetching. Like, you just get like, hey, free my daughter. Hey, I like joy penance. Hey, if you can catch my pig, I'll give you something. If like, it was just like,
these people are useless.
That's the wrong pig.
Get this little kid with blonde hair to do all your work for you.
The world's
I loved his eyes in this one.
His expressions were great.
It was like his derp face, like, oh, like I'm annoyed.
He's super derpy. But I guess if you stand still long enough, because what happened was they made the eyes way too big, and basically Miyamoto was like, well, you need a fucking reason for the eyes to be this big. It's got to do, you can just have him have like eyes that take up half his head and have it do nothing. So they made a joke about, why do we even made his eyes shoot lasers? They never did. But if you stand still, he will sometimes look into things that give you hints. So if you look at his eyes, he will look at like, you need to hit that switch, follow his eyes. His eyes are going toward the switch. Or
like if he sees the enemy off there, he'll look at the enemy too. Like if it's like far off, like, oh, there's something over there. I noticed that. I was wondering what he was doing. I'm like, oh.
But he does look derpy. He provides benefits, but he is a very derpy.
Well, when
Link.
he receives some stuff, like when he's receiving like some things, he's like, "Oh, thanks for giving me this." Like I think, like he wasn't happy getting anything.
Ungrateful bastard.
Like you see, like some of the face, like you always like, oh, he holds it up and like you see a smile with some of the links or like some type of gratefulness. Then there's just like some places where he's like, my sister gave me a telescope. Woo woo.
Awesome.
Or he got the shield or something. Then he got super excited over some other stuff. Like, I got a bomb. By the way, what do you think of like the swab? You said you're on a pirate ship and you had to do like all those tests like for that kid, like the
swing the ropes that whole ordeal,
or you had to jump like all.
Yeah, that was funny.
You're like, whoa, you can talk to. By the way, how can we get away from the fact that there's they didn't make a fairy companion? It's just a fucking rock in your pants that you had to. Hey, listen.
Yeah,
it just would be different. Right. It'd be the king of the sea, the king of Red King, or it'd be the Tetra, or whoever. Or I think one of the Ritos even talking. There's this, what do they call it? Something gossip stone or
There's
something.
Your rock phone.
Yeah. You talk on the rock phone.
Just pick up your rock. What's up?
Which is much better than what's an angle. Hey,
I would love.
Listen.
Hey, yeah, that was.
Fuck off, Navi.
Yeah. The noise, so the sound effects and the music, I think, really just vaulted this game up the ranks for me because Tingle is, or not Tingle. Who's the merchant?
Oh, Beetle.
What's his name?
The Beetle.
A Beetle, the guy on the boat.
Yeah. Beetle. I love it. I love it.
I like somehow these characters because I didn't know some of these characters. Like the Rito, I didn't know the Ritos until I started playing Breath of the Wild.
I don't think they've appeared since Breath of the Wild. I think they got reintroduced.
No.
So I was like, oh, that's just cool. I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, so this is where they iterated from was this game. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And you get to see Beetle too, because I think he's like one of the merchants that runs around the whole Highlands in Breath of the Wild too, and grab stuff.
I can't remember him being. I'm sure he is.
My cat is broken.
Well,
they're not very smart.
You don't need the cat.
I love the guy where you play the battleship game. He's my favorite in probably any Zelda.
Oh, that's fun. I heard him playing that. That was a different mini game.
Boom, splish.
I like how he explains it.
I died. I was like, John's gonna love that. That's the reason why I picked this game, by the way, because I figured John would sit there and deal with that guy and just laugh at the guy going splish, splish.
Right. So we were chilling like between Christmas and New Year's, and I got the converter thing to work. So I was playing this downstairs for a while, and Rory has Animal Crossing, and she was sitting there playing on the couch, and I turned the game up a little bit. I knew this was coming, and I turned it up, and I would just play it. I'd look at her. She was so sucked into Animal Crossing that she didn't look up until like for 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
She's like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, this is Battleship. She's like, it's weird. I was like, I heard about.
Did you get her own?
Was it? No, dude, I don't play the Switch. We'll trade off. I got enough time to sink into the games of the weeks for now. But this must have been on an Instagram reel, and they used that sound effect for something else because I was like, where the fuck is that from? I was like, oh, that's like SpongeBob or something. And then I remember digging deep, and I was like, that's in a Zelda game? That's great. And
this game was funny.
Again, same with you, man.
This game did, like, there was a couple comments that, like, some of the conversations you had, like, this game was hilarious. I will give it that.
Yeah, the booger kid.
I'm looking at him right now.
Follows you around. The fishman's like, ah! I can't do it justice, but they sounded ridiculous too.
I think the mini games are hilarious in this.
Yeah.
Like, they was funny, just like, you're gonna go sail, you're gonna jump over bombed barrels. I mean, just it was like Zelda but absurd. it kind of took like a Link to the Past. Like you need to take your shovel and go dig for stuff, or here, go complete my obstacle course. And you're kind of like, okay, this is stupid, but I'm enjoying it. It's super intense. This game kind of like took that. And it's like, we're going to go to the nth degree on this. We're going to have you sailing your boat over things and flying through this. And it is absurd. The game is very absurd.
Mm-hmm.
This is also when they changed the Kurok Force kids.
The who?
The people of the Hidden Forest, or you know how in Ocarina of Time you are one of these like spirit or the kids of the spirit, where pretty much they're just kids of the forest.
Oh yeah,
the Kuroks. They changed how they look.
Kakiro.
They made them like
Kakiro.
The karaoke.
Now they're just little karaoke.
Kuroks. Yeah,
they're like Koroks. That's when they became like the wood people.
Korok, Leaf Hunter.
But wait, maybe no, they're actually introduced in just this game apparently.
This game, because like they're in Breath of the Wild. This game like really fed
100 Korok seeds. Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Never doing that.
Nope. That's a big no for me.
Well, like there's one quest in this where you're going to hit that guy 500 times.
They're supposed to be the Kokiri. They're transformed. So I think there was like he changed them from the kids that they were into what they look like now.
So kids turned in 100 years. Kids turned into trees, and fish turned into birds.
Yeah, because
somewhere Darwin is like rolling over in his grave.
Are transformed forms of Kuroki formed by the Great Flood.
Kuroki
or Kokiris. Kokiris.
It changes every time you say it.
I'm trying to read it. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Long day. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Oh my god!
Buying games at Sanford, you little fucking swindler.
No, working.
You go down to Sanford so much, you're like,
it's my territory.
He's got stuff.
So
I better go just see what he's doing today.
But you go in there and you embarrass yourself.
I'm sorry,
like,
we're talking about job. I like it.
Do you go in there and you're like, we're talking about Wind Waker this week. We're talking about the Cockneys, the Koriks, the Karaokes.
The neckbeard just goes, "Excuse me, sir."
Actually.
There's this guy, and I'm going to send you, because you're making me play all these fucking weeb games. I'm going to send you this anime guy on TikTok that he has a pillow, and he has an anime girl on his pillow, and it's his girlfriend. And he has these stupid, like, tinted glasses.
We didn't mention that yet. Under development. So we are kicking off the Year of the Weeb, as we announced in our year-end episode. And this game actually is influenced by anime. So, John, you are now an anime fan.
Yep.
You are.
And you are.
I picked this for you in the Year of the Weeb, not even realizing it, and that you would appreciate anime. So, congratulations, John, on joining us on the Year of the Weeb. We kicked it off without even planning on it. So, this game was inspired by a 1963, 65, something like that, anime called The Little Prince and the Eight-Headed Dragon. I could describe it more in detail, but if you watch like 5 seconds of it, you're like, holy shit, that's this game. And I guess the guy worked on the game too. Like he worked on that anime and he worked on this game. So
okay. I'm happy because I didn't want them to just blatantly rip it off.
Well, you should be happy that it's the Year of the Weeb and you've kicked it off, John.
I know, right?
And Nick is gonna give it to you.
Oh yeah.
All right, so our rankings. Let's do the rankings. Let's wrap this up. I got a lot of editing I'm going to have to do tonight.
Yeah.
So, John, we'll start with you. You
surprised me of all, John.
You especially. I figured it'd be higher up on your list. I didn't know how high. You put it below.
Actually, both of you surprising. Both of you, Matt, where you placed yours, and John.
John was the high mark. John, you put yours in your number 6
really hates
spot.
Fetch Quest.
Yeah. So you're below Halo and above Warcraft 2. So this was a high game for you. This is in your top 10. This
and
is
Matt's your game too.
With Islands, you'll get me.
Yeah, I think that maybe what
John's like, this is like vinyl. We're traveling to Vinyl Haven, or we're going to Mechanicus.
Islands, baby. If you put Islands in a game, I'm going to be like, I fucking love this. I need to go to that island just to say that I've gone to that island. I don't know what it is about me. I'm a Viking. My 45th great grandfather was the Viking guy.
Wait, Nick, did I do this wrong?
What?
I did. Our whole thing's wrong because you wanted to push down Pokemon Crystal, correct?
Let me look at it again. 1 second.
I think I accidentally put it below Pokemon, but I thought you said you wanted it above Pokemon. Did I fuck that up?
It should be. Let me see. Did you put it in general chat? Where did you put it? Game of the week, right? Oh no, above Pokemon. So it's number 11. Number 12.
I fucked that up. So you hold on. We're gonna do some recalculating. Because of my fuck ups, you have this in your 11th spot, so you have it below Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance and above Pokemon Crystal, which I'm actually really surprised. I can't believe you put this above a Pokemon game.
It almost beat Castlevania out. Almost.
That is shocking.
It was fairly close. Like if I probably finished this game, I could probably easily edge it. It was like a back and forth.
That actually, is shocking.
To be completely honest, it was close to John's. It almost actually went above Donkey Kong, but there's just such a nostalgia for those games. That's the only reason why those games are where they are.
So I guess I'm the outlier then, because you're further up. I have this a lot lower on my list. I have it in my 23 spot, so it is below Star Fox and above Crystalis. So let me explain this before I get roasted by everyone. I've said this 9,000 times in this show. Like everything this game does, it does well. If you go back and you listen to my podcast on the podcast, I say that as much as you talk about Stu. I can't say that about this game. As a kid, as a teenager, I hated the art style. As an adult, I fucking love the art style. I actually don't like the design of it. I feel like they cut corners. They cut dungeons to rush it to get it out to market. The fetch quest was dumb. I thought the dungeons were fairly forgettable compared to the whole Pantheon. I mean, I think as being a Zelda game, I'm a lot harsher on it than I would be if they just like branded this as some other game.
Yeah,
but because in that Zelda Pantheon, I expect more. And in this game, I feel that way, honestly, about a lot of GameCube games. Like Sunshine, they cut corners. I'm sorry. I didn't like Double Dash. I thought that was kind of a weird... GameCube games were just weird.
Yeah, I'm with you on those two.
So, I played this game. I liked it initially for its uniqueness and kind of quirkiness. But as I went further and further in the game, I just this is a rush job. And then I think the fact that the internet is so infatuated and loves this game, like this is the best Zelda game ever. It's like, no, it's fucking not. Like I am objectively telling you all the ways this game has serious flaws that you're omitting. Like, yes, I understand people like to travel around and sail, and that has some appeal.
Do you think it's like a niche kind of deal? Like it's like like PBR became really big with the hipsters. Like it was cool to drink, right? Like it's cool. You like this game because you want to be cool.
The Wind Waker, the PBR of Zelda games.
Oh, there's our intro bit right there.
There it is. That's it.
I think I was listening to some of our intros. I'm like, I think I've successfully been into. I started off our intro bits really well.
9 out of 10 intros are. You.
Yeah.
Yep. So for the listener, this game actually, because of you guys, your good deeds, is still higher up on our list. It is in our number 12 spot. It is below Mother 3, but above Wario Land 3. And I think if you were to blast our listing on the internet, I don't think that's that controversial. I don't think people will probably come after me for my spot of it, which I would like to fight with them on.
This is our second Zelda game.
Yeah, I don't know if we've done that yet. Have we had? We've had games like Star Fox 1 and 2 where we played both, but I don't think we've revisited something in the same series yet.
No, this is our second Zelda game.
We played our first, I think.
Sonic.
Yeah, it's true. We lost Sonic 1. Yep.
As you guys look at me, fuckers. We've done Donkey Kong.
We did. Okay, so we have done more than I thought.
But this is so I think I have a standout series. This has probably one of the longest series in the Nintendo franchise in general.
Yeah, that Mario. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
We've already played a 2D Mario. We're gonna play a 3D Mario at some point. If you guys don't do it, I'm gonna do it.
So all we have to we have to play. If we play other Zelda game, I think there's only one game that's really gonna knock out Link's Awakening, and that's Link's the Past.
I don't know what your ranking would be, but John and I probably single-handedly would drive a lot of that. Yeah. Not to give away any spoilers.
I don't even need to play that again.
But I would. I would in a heartbeat.
I know.
Matt would 100% it.
Oh, I would. I love that game.
I may have played that last year on the Switch.
I said, is it one of those games that
I'm like, I don't want to finish this.
It's one of those games I think you'll either play either annually or biannually or every couple of years or so. You just to play it.
It is a flawless game. It everything it does well. Literally, it fails at nothing it attempts.
The pain point is the hidden forest in the Dark World with that fucking moth. That is the hardest boss.
That sucks.
And then the last tower where you're gonna go through everything again. That was tough.
It's a dungeon run. That's a lot of dungeons you have to go through.
Aggressive, perfect progression in that game.
It is. Fuck off, Washington Post. It is a flawless fucking game. Journal assholes.
I think because I played that game at 7 years old and I didn't know what the fuck to do. That's probably I spent the most time playing that game because I would just walk around until I figured it out.
I watched my parents play that game.
I don't know if I ever beat that until I was in high school. Yeah.
I helped
the daycare I went to. Her husband played Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and I would just get there and I would just sit there and watch, and he would just be sitting on the couch. He was like a pharmacist, and they had a really nice house, but he fucking loved Nintendo. So he'd be playing in the morning, and be like, "Oh, time to go," and I'd be like, "No, please play 5 more minutes. I want to watch you play this."
Oh shit!
Yeah, fuck the Washington Post.
Fuck the Washington Post.
You need to go on IGN, WAPO. Fuck the WAPO.
Even IGN comes up with some bullshit. Their rankings are completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're. I don't know, but great game. Good pick, Matt.
Yeah. So Nick,
good way to start off the year.
Yeah. Nice job.
Kicking it off, the year of the Weeb. We've made our connection. Thank you, 1963 anime. Yeah. Nick, tell us. What are we doing next?
Is it me next? Am I really next?
Is it? I'm pretty sure it's you. No, it's not. It's John. I take that back.
It's me.
It is John. Yep.
And we're doing. John, you might as well announce it's your game.
It is John's game.
Yeah, we are doing 007, not GoldenEye. We're doing Nightfire.
Nightfall.
One of the Nightfall. Night Vision.
I've never played this game.
I realized that I have Nightfire. There's 4 007 games on the GameCube and PS2 that I have that I didn't realize were a thing. So So I think Nightfire might be the
007
best
GoldenEye's
of
crap.
that lot. Right? I got into an argument with Luke when we were kids. He's like, Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye, and I was like, you take that
that
back.
laptop gun though.
Oh man, that is a.
I don't remember.
I would take your stance as a kid. As an adult, I don't know. That's a hard one.
I got to go back and play it, but I hate single stick games now, so I don't know if I want to go back and play either of them.
They remade Perfect Dark.
Pain.
Yep. You need to go to the dump. Get John an Xbox so we can do the rare replay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time I'm next to Nick's car,
John,
I'm
you
take
don't
a
have
picture of the
Xbox?
Spindash dump sticker.
Do you not have Xbox, John?
No, he needs an Xbox One.
Oh yeah, Xbox One. Yeah, I'll get him one.
Do I need a? I don't have one of those.
No, I'll find you one.
I'll. Yeah. Oh wait, no. You have a regular Nintendo now. Never mind.
Yeah, I know.
You don't need it.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
There. What's? I can't wait. I'm excited. I'll be down here. I'll turn on the old PS2. Haven't turned it on for a while.
What are you playing? So you're gonna play it on PS2, John?
Yeah.
What are you playing it on?
GameCube.
You gonna do the GameCube version? Perfect. I'll take Xbox.
Just so I'll pop Wind Waker. All right.
We'll do the trifecta.
Compare.
I'll take Xbox.
Sweet. That's cool. We haven't done that before.
No, we had our chance with Beyond Good and Evil, and we didn't do it then. So this is our first.
I think I changed. I played differently. What did you guys play it on? I played it on Steam.
I played on Xbox.
Yeah, I played it good. I played
PS2.
it on PC.
Huh.
Oh, we did mix that up. All right.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Socials changed up. I did some editing, some tweaking.
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't really do much tweaking. I added some stuff. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm working on building the TikTok, trying to get our episodes loaded up on there, just some teasers and stuff like that. But in our Instagram and in our Twitter, I put a Linktree website that has where you can follow our socials there. I also have it so it's linked to our podcast. So wherever you want to listen to our podcast, you can link right into there. I think going forward, we'll use it for everything else. Just add it on our website in general. It just makes it a little bit easier. You guys can check it out. John, Matt, you guys can check it out. See what I did.
John's not going to check it out.
I know he's not.
Maybe.
Well, I put everything there. It was like one place to find everything. So it's linktree.com /Spindash Retro.
Sweet.
So everything's there, easy to use. We'll put everything there. If we ever decide, I would like to. If we ever get popular, maybe we'll do some merch, stickers, something like that. Have John.
Our moms will really appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll have maybe some knits, some knitting. So follow us on there. Also, I made it easier for our Discord. So I have our Discord in there as well.
Sweet. So
nice and easy. Maybe we'll actually get someone besides me, you, John, and our biggest fan, Matt. Who's our biggest fan? Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow's got to make a big appearance in 2023. She's been silent for a couple episodes. Her and her merch, her crotchal merch.
Goop.
Hey, I collected a bunch of goop: golden goop, red goop. I think there's some green goop in this game. So she was in this game.
You missed your opportunity. Maybe next time with old Pierce.
Oh yeah, let's see if Pierce Brosnan there.
Pierce Brosnan's the shit, man.
The end.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, Pierce Brosnan.